You're watching Two Button Crew.
Your daily Nintendo stuff fandom.
I'm Scott.
And I'm Simeon.
And there are quite a few genre debates that we need to clear the air on.
Yeah, we do. Clear that air.
One of the reasons is that Nintendo likes to be so different.
Why are you so different?
They like to make up genre names. Yeah.
We just want to put you in a box.
Mm-hmm.
Put you in a box and keep you there.
Yeah.
So you can't make things all confusing. What genre do you like? I like... I don't know what it's called. Whatever it is that Nintendo does. I like that.
Yeah. So we've got 4 main debates here today.
Yes.
One is just Miitomo.
Yeah.
What genre of game is Miitomo, Simeon?
See, that's really hard because it is kind of new.
Mm-hmm.
But I almost don't call it a game.
Yeah.
I call it...
Excuse me.
You're excused. I call it like a social media app. But I know that... You know what? I would call it a life sim game. Kind of like The Sims.
Okay.
That's kind of how I would classify it. Like social media application mixed with life simulation.
Well, then you gotta mix the name. Social sim?
Social sim, I guess. Yeah.
All right.
Miitomo people. Miitomo people app. We need to make a t-shirt that says, I want to Miitomo people.
Oh, could we have a Forever Alone styled me on there?
Maybe, but I don't know if we'd be able to use the word Miitomo people. Miitomo.
Whatever.
Maybe make it all one word, and so they can't sue us. Miitomo people.
There's Miitomo drop in there. That's just a little side mode.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty happy with the name that we coined, Social Sim.
Social Sim.
Speaking of things we coined, the word for games of all parties that are on Nintendo platforms, Pantendo.
Pantendo.
I've been very happy with that.
Now you know. I love it.
Still hesitant to put it in like titles and stuff for searchability, but someday
it's going to catch on.
That's right.
Everybody's going to know.
What genre is Star Fox Guard? You sent me a video of a former GameSpot employee. What's his name?
Oh, you mean the Game Trailers guy?
Former Game Trailers
guy.
GameSpot's still together.
That's Kyle Bosman.
Okay. He said that Star Fox Guard isn't a tower defense game. And,
Did he say what he thought it was?
No. He said, I don't know what genre this is. You guys say that it's tower defense, but it's not. And I can kind of see that because tower defense, you're usually strategizing by like setting up your defenses and you're not taking an active part in the action. But Star Fox Guard turns into like a first-person shooter because you're actually involved in the combat itself.
Right. I still very much consider it a tower defense games because if you look at games like Dungeon Defenders, you have like characters that are running around, but you still have a tower that you're defending. Mm-hmm. And I know that Kyle Bosman doesn't like labels and he doesn't like boxes, but I think for the sake...
He just wants to go to the store and buy a disc?
Yeah, he wants to say, when somebody says, what kind of game is this? That he wants them to say, this is a game for people to play, and then he'll buy it. No, I don't know.
I thought you were talking about physical boxes.
No, he doesn't.
Like boxes.
He doesn't like to put certain things in certain boxes just because it doesn't do it justice. And I think that just saying Star Fox Guard is a tower defense game and that's it, I think that's not doing it justice. But that's the genre.
Do we need to mix it with shooter?
First-person tower defense, maybe. Maybe.
Simeon, you're on a roll.
There we go. First-person tower defense.
Right.
Descriptive enough.
Let's settle something that has been argued about since 2001, or prior if the game was, as it was announced and stuff. We're talking about Metroid Prime, which Nintendo refused to call a first-person shooter and insisted that it's a first-person adventure, and about half of the fans agreed with them and half of them didn't. So
this one is a really sticky situation because I'll find myself talking to people and I'll say, I haven't played a first-person shooter since and then I'll almost like give them a year and a date, and then I realize, oh wait, Metroid Prime.
I see.
I call it a first-person shooter, but I would say once again that you can't just go off of the label, and it's so different. It just is. It's got the platforming that other first-person shooters really have only just started to pick up on a little bit, and it doesn't focus on the multiplayer, so...
Well, it's definitely first person.
Yeah.
So how do you decide between shooter and adventure? Is it like what the emphasis is on more?
I would say so. Because if you look at Portal, you could say, oh, that's a first person shooter because it's first person and you shoot things.
Okay.
You're shooting portals out. But to me, that's like a puzzle game. It's a first person puzzle game. So I say, I mean, maybe it is more of an adventure game. I don't know. This one's a little bit more difficult. I always call it a first-person shooter,
well,
I don't know.
I don't think they set out to make a shooter.
No.
Think about the Metroid series when it was 2D. That wasn't a shooter.
That's true. Well, we'll get into that. That's the next thing on the list. I snuck that in there. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh,
but let's string into that. I don't know. Maybe it is more first-person adventure with shooting elements. First-person shoe venture.
And there your roll stopped.
Shoe venture. Shoe venture, people. Shoe venture on. Okay. I hate it when people use the term action as a genre. This is from the action genre. Yeah. That is okay, I know, because I know what they were going for, and like, if you look at NES games, it typically meant you're a dude with a gun and you're moving to the right and you're shooting things. Yeah. Okay, that is what most people meant as an action, as an action game.
Because there weren't shooters back then.
Right. It wasn't first person or third person. That didn't come until later. When the 3D stuff started coming on, people say, oh, this is an action game or action adventure, which is almost worse.
So I'm guessing you're saying action may be a term that should have died out?
I think so.
Because fighting is action, shooting is action.
Yeah.
Platforming is action.
Action means that you're doing something.
It's like everything but puzzle.
Yeah, that's like, do you want to pick up a game that's called inaction? Like, you don't do anything. Well, I guess there are games like that. Yeah. Like Fish Tank Simulator or whatever. But
games.
To me,
then we gotta start defining games.
That's also very true.
Yeah.
So, is it... I think that there's better terms. I use the term 2D shooter.
Okay.
Because, like, Metroid, I would say, oh, that's a 2D shooting game. Super Metroid 2D shooting game.
I think Metroid Prime, I think we're going to stick with first-person adventure.
Yeah.
And we got one more we need to hit on.
Yes.
That's Zelda Breath of the Wild. So, Nintendo put out, like, a fact sheet, a press email. They said, look at our brand new open-air adventure game. Open Air Adventure. And then the industry said, what? What are you guys talking about?
It's an open world. It's an open world adventure.
Well, Bill, Draw Two Cards Trinan, would like to argue with you. Here's a quote from him.
Oh, Bill.
From my perspective, I look at a lot of open world games, and the world is a setting for the story the developers want to tell in that space. I look at this game and I see a world that is fully integrated into the exploration and the adventure. It's not just a world that you're passing through. It's sort of a world that you're part of. So much of the adventure and exploration is in this outdoor space, and the theme of wilderness collectively seemed like open air was the right fit for it. I felt like he was kind of making a good point at the beginning, and then he's like, how do I relate this back to open air?
Yeah.
He explained well how this game is different.
Yeah.
It's about the world, but if it's about the world, why not use the word world?
Yeah. No, he uses a lot of words that it's like, yeah, it sounds like he's making a point. And it's like he's saying some things. Go, Bill! Say some things. Yeah. To me...
He probably didn't know either.
Yeah.
Probably wasn't his decision.
Here's and I think it comes down to that is, it wasn't his decision. And I think what it comes down to is genres are a tool that allow you to find other games that you might like. So just because you say, Zelda Breath of the Wild, that's going to be an open world game or an open world adventure, which I think is probably even better, more specific.
Yep.
And you say, oh no, it's open air adventure. It's just like, oh, okay, that's more descriptive. Why don't you go say it's an open world Zelda Breath of the Wild game?
Yeah, because you're already in a category of your own.
Right. Genres are not meant to, argue, oh, this is part of this genre. It's about trying to relate it to something else so that other people can find games that they might like.
I'm not going to call it air. I'm not going to call it air.
Yeah, Breath of the Air. Breath of Air. No, that's Breath of the Air Wind game. Open air adventure wind. Breathe it in. Breathe in the open air adventure. No.
What was Wind Waker? Open salty air adventure.
Breath of the Brine. Oh no! Yeah. See, yeah.
I mean, we should make custom genres for each Zelda game.
Every Zelda game has a different genre.
Yeah.
This is a Game Boy Zelda platformer.
Monochrome.
This is a monochrome platform Zelda game. Oh, you mean Link's Awakening? Yes, that's what I mean, but it's much cooler when I say it.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of the crew.
Comment your favorite ridiculous genre name and join in to the genre name controversy.
We'll see you next time.
Signing out.